Today's been the last of a series of 3 events that we've done in partnership with the Evening Standard. The series was entitled The Future of Food, and it's all about trying to connect with the urban consumers to help tell the story of farming, food production and the value chain to those who are much more distant from it than our usual business contacts.
The average person in the UK is more removed from farming than any other country in the world. So we need to go back on average 6 generations to find someone that has a member of their family that was a farmer.
Today was about getting the consumers out onto the farm. So we've had 25 volunteers who the Evening Standard sourced, who came up to the farm today, and we've been looking at soils, soil health, bees, crop rotation, produce, the end product from the farm, as well as the history of the farm and how Ian manages the farm.
The further we get away from food production, the wider that disconnect, and perhaps why, as farmers, we need to do more to help people understand or give people more opportunity to what we do on a farm. I got involved in the Evening Standard Syngenta event because I do quite a lot of work reconnecting young people and adults with food and farming, and it was a really good opportunity to meet with a group of people from London, hear their views and share with them some of our ideas and challenges as a British farmer. This is a crop of oilseed rape. This is the black seed that we saw in the shed that you turn into vegetable oil. Oilseed rape is really susceptible at the time that it's planted to 2 things. Firstly, slugs, which any of you like your gardening know slugs are a real pain. And the other one is something called cabbage stem flea beetle.
So today I've been involved in looking at heavy machinery like combine harvesters and tractors, looking at worms, looking at livestock in the form of cows for milking and steer for eating, and also baking oat cakes, and just about to go and do some beekeeping. So it's an eye-opener into exactly what's going on a farm.
I found it a really involved day so far. The farmer Ian has been really gracious to share his knowledge on the practical aspects of being a farmer, some of the pitfalls, some of the problems he's got in trying to bring product to market.
The wax is used for storing nectar, which they then turn into honey by dewatering it.
Now, in terms of earthworms, we have maybe 30 different species in this country, but you can split these up into 3 different groups. This is Lumbricus terrestris, the logworm, and it's very good if soils have these in because they're really important for drainage. They're a very powerful worm.
It was great. It was a really good day. The visitors from London were incredibly engaged, but I think what was interesting is that we learnt a lot about where we need to improve as farmers, communicating better with people from non-farming audiences. This was just one example of what can be done, but I think there's so much more we can do.
This is a proper farm, like.
Yeah. People are so supportive of British agriculture, but we've got to make sure that we keep asking the questions of them as what we can do better.
I think it's important for Syngenta to be involved in this sort of event, as it is for everybody in the industry, because it's one of our industry's biggest challenges, which is the disconnect between modern food production and the end consumer. And if we can do something to help contribute to bridging that gap, then as a player in the industry, I think it's important that we make that contribution.
I've learnt a lot actually, because I'm not really a back to the land person. I've learnt how scientific farming is. Whereas I thought it was just a farmer wandering around with a piece of hay in his mouth, growing plants. It's much more scientific than that, and it also relies a lot on things like worms and bees, which was an eye-opener to me.
It's not every day you meet industry professionals that are outside your daily life, and so to come face-to-face with a farmer, a multi-generational farmer, who is part of the unseen fabric of putting food on the table. I think that was very instilling to see his outward enthusiasm and responsibility he takes very seriously, and I felt that as a consumer.